Today is called Super Bowl Sunday, but for all SoFi hodlers, it is SoFi Day. This could set SoFi up for a long-term path of success. Why is that? Because SoFi is going to be heard by almost every American in the world today. Everybody has heard SoFi Stadium, SoFi Stadium, SoFi Stadium, and it will be everywhere today. We can already see that the Google search trends are at 100%, the highest levels that they have ever been at. So this is very encouraging, and I think this is SoFi's golden moment to shine, and I think we're going to be very impressed by the revenue numbers, by the new clients they post on this earnings report, as well as the following earnings reports after this. A big part of this because of the Super Bowl. This is going to have some long-term fundamental impacts on the business of SoFi. So I am very excited to get into this video. We're going to go over everything that you guys need to know. So stay tuned and let's get into it. Hit that like button for me. Subscribe to the channel if you guys find education, if not simply entertainment, out of this video. Thank you guys for watching and let's get to it. So SoFi, baby. SoFi, my poster child of the Super Bowl. SoFi, 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 SoFi Stadium. That's all you're going to hear today. By the way, let me know down below in the comment section who you guys are rooting for. Are you rooting for the Bengals? Are you rooting for the Rams? You know me. I'm from Michigan. I'm rooting for the Rams. Matthew Stafford, never been to a Super Bowl. Lions, never been to the Super Bowl. He leaves the Lions the first year and goes to the Super Bowl. Kind of ironic, kind of cool. So definitely going to be rooting for the Rams here in this situation. But as far as SoFi is concerned, SoFi was actually green on Friday. So it was a very good day. Why? Because of this whole, hype running into the Super Bowl, which SoFi did not rally into this. The markets were down 3%. The NASDAQ was down 3%. So SoFi being up 1.61% and after hours closing slightly green by 1 penny in regular trading is not a rally. It's not a buy the rumors, sell the news kind of event. You also seen DraftKings, which was up quite substantially throughout the day as well on Friday. If we pull that up, it was looking good for all stocks that are really related to the Super Bowl. So that was definitely a positive thing to see as well. And I do think both of these companies are going to shine, but specifically SoFi for obvious reasons. And we're going to come back to the technical analysis in just 1 second, but I do want to go over the economic data that is also coming out this week, the Fed speakers that are speaking, the PPI numbers, all of that you need to know what is going on certain days. So if we do take a look at that, macro events this week, Tuesday at 1:30, you have the PPI that is coming out month over month. So nothing really that comes out on Monday besides that emergency Fed meeting, that unscheduled Fed meeting, which is now scheduled. So I had some people in the last video say it's not an unscheduled, it's not an emergency meeting. It actually is. Now it is scheduled, but it was not scheduled just a couple of days ago. So PPI, producer price index, that is your producer side of inflation. So that's going to be a key that markets are paying attention to. Wednesday, you do have retail sales month over month at 1:30. 2:15 p.m. industrial production month over month, 2:15 p.m. manufacturing production, and at 7 p.m. on Wednesday, you have the FOMC minutes. On Thursday, and that's going to be a very, very important one as well. On Thursday, you do have the ECB Lane speech. That's a European Central Bank, and that does actually affect our markets as well because they give their economic forecast, their outlooks on the economy, all of that. 1:30 p.m. Thursday, you have initial jobless claims for February 12th. At 4 p.m., you have Fed Bullard speech, and at 10 p.m., you have Fed Mester speech. On Friday, you do have existing home sales for January at 3 p.m., 3:45 p.m., Fed Waller speech, and 4 p.m., Fed Williams speech. So all of that is going to be very, very important. Every single thing that is here, make sure to pause this and write it down if you guys want. It's going to be very important, and it's going to move the markets. Now, all eyes are on this Russia-Ukraine drama as well as that Fed meeting on Monday. Nothing is expected to come out of that Fed meeting, so if something does, if they do raise rates, it's going to catch market participants off guard, and they are going to get very fearful very, very fast. And here's this Fed meeting right here. They matters to be considered. 1, review and determine of the Board of Governors of the advance and discount rates to be charged by the Federal Reserve Bank. So that's basically assessing should they raise rates sooner or not. And this was not expected until just a couple of days ago, right after the CPI did come out. So it's definitely an emergency meeting, and I think everybody knows they should come out and raise rates as soon as possible. So that is that. As far as the Ukraine drama situation, Zelensky, this is Ukraine's president, asked Biden for greater military and financial support. Ukrainian official says you also have Canada telling their personnel to get out of Ukraine, and you also do have Cyprus advising citizens to leave Ukraine as well. And the White House did come out with this today. It says White House National Security Advisor describes what Russian attack on Ukraine might look like. The key points. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan gave a grim description Sunday of what a Russian invasion of Ukraine might look like and urged Americans to depart the country immediately. Quote, if there is a military invasion of Ukraine by Russia, it is likely to begin by a significant barrage of missiles and bomb attacks. It would then be followed by an onslaught of ground forces moving across the Ukrainian frontier, Sullivan said. Sullivan said that the past 10 days, the Kremlin has accelerated its extraordinary military buildup along Ukraine's border, citing that an attack could begin any moment. A lot of what we have heard already, but the way that they are going about this makes you think that, one, they have more information than us, but that an attack is no longer a question. It is just, when is it going to happen? So keep that in mind. That's going to move the markets a lot, especially if Russia does invade Ukraine. You're going to see a major down day in the markets, as well as if the Fed does come out and emergency style raise rates. And SoFi is not in its own little bubble. Surely seemed like it on Friday, but it's not. And if the markets did fall, say 3 to 5% again, it would likely get hit alongside the broad markets. So that's really as far as the macro situation that you guys need to know. As far as the Super Bowl and why I'm so excited about this is because SoFi spends a lot of money on advertising. Yes, they spend about $30 million per year for the next 20 years on SoFi Stadium, and it looks like this might pay off alone. If they get a lot of new customers, if they get members to their SoFi platform, and SoFi likes to cross-sell people. So if they get a house, they also like to refinance student loans, start investing with SoFi. That could be huge, and that could set SoFi up for massive success here into the future. I mean, imagine how expensive it would be to get in front of almost every single American, or just people in the world as well. I mean, the Super Bowl is international as well, for the most part, but especially getting in front of every single American, obviously, unless you live like off the grid or something, then SoFi wouldn't be your customer anyways, but it would be very, very expensive. And to see those kind of numbers, you have to imagine if SoFi has a 1% conversion rate, you're going to see 1 to 2 million people sign up for SoFi. That's if SoFi is seen in front of 150 million people, about half of America's population. 1 to 2% conversion rate on 300 million people is, you guys can do the math there, 3 to 6 million customers. So that's looking really good in that aspect when you break it down like that. And I am very excited to see what the Super Bowl does for SoFi in the long term, as well as in the short and near term. Any catalyst like that could actually send the stock into a short squeeze, because the short interest is 20.01%. Current shares that are sold short, 123.71 million. Cost of borrow max of 1.47%. Utilization of 93.32%, and days to cover at 2.85. Now, SoFi is not a short squeeze trade. You're not invested in SoFi like praying and hoping for a short squeeze or you're going to lose all your money. That's not the case. But if you do see a move to the upside, it's likely to be followed by some level of a short squeeze, because short sellers, they're not shorting the Apples, Microsofts of the world. They're not protecting their portfolios. They're shorting stocks like SoFi, Lucid, AMC, GameStop. They're shorting all of these more retail stocks at the point of their fundamental valuations, if not under their fundamental valuations. So they're not really protecting their portfolios, and they're going to start losing their ass if the markets do come down, and SoFi does see a pop. So it would lead to a quite dramatic short squeeze. Now, I'm not advising or not saying nothing on this channel is a recommendation, but I'm not saying to go YOLO everything and hope for a short squeeze in SoFi. Certainly not the case. But I'm saying it can add to a already bullish rally when we do ultimately get one. So do keep that in mind. As far as the option flow for Friday, you were at a measly 38% positive order value, and it was a pretty muted day overall for institutional option activity on SoFi. 8 orders total, totaling $1.73 million. So very, very weak numbers right there. 46 orders totaling $25.11 million over the past week. Positive order value of 83%. That is more like it, and that is those numbers that we usually see in between 90, even 100, and 80% for the positive order value. So looking good right there. Institutions are still very, very, very bullish on SoFi. And as far as the Google Trends, like I said, they are at their all-time high levels. So this is definitely causing people to sign up for SoFi, and it's definitely causing a lot of good advertisement. You even see, I've seen countless people on TV as well as on news outlets making articles, what is SoFi? Because it kind of just popped into everybody's heads, SoFi Stadium, and nobody really knew about it, right? It's not like the Little Caesars arena. It's not like other arenas that you've heard of from big companies. SoFi is not a big company. So there's a lot of people talking about, like, what is SoFi? And that's going to drive a lot of attention and business to SoFi here in the short term and the long term. There's something about when you start hearing about something that's like Quicken Loans and Rocket Mortgage. Like, everybody knows, you know, what Quicken Loans is because they've heard it many times. And then if you're younger, you're more apt to use something you have heard about before, or if you're any age for that matter, you're more likely to use something that you have heard about before. And I think everybody's going to hear about SoFi now. So that in itself is a very good thing. As far as the technicals are concerned, still watching this $14 resistance level to see if we can break out above that, and that will turn into a support. It would not surprise me on Monday or Tuesday if obviously Super Bowl numbers are good and all of that. If Russia does not invade Ukraine and if the Fed does not raise rates, you could pop over $14 and, you know, remain up there, and that could turn into another support. Now, the 20-day simple moving average, we did close under this, which this is just a major level of resistance. Once we do break out above this, like on something like AMC or other stocks that have rallied recently, broke out above that, and then they tended to rally even higher, and that on the same level would put us to about $15 for SoFi. So that is looking really good, and that's really what I expect. We're at the higher range. We're right under this 20-day simple moving average. Once we break out above that, $15 per share is definitely on the table. 50-day moving average as well is at the $14 price. The 100-day and 200-day are at about $17 per share. If we pull down the Bollinger Bands, it'll be a little bit easier to see here. Once we break out just barely above this 20-day simple moving average, 50-day moving average right there at 14. That's where you're going to see a lot more levels of support around that $14 price and the 50-day moving average. So you're also seeing really good volume every single day for SoFi, and the MACD is getting incredibly bullish. And it is bullish, just so you guys know, when this yellow line is above the blue line. When it's like this and the yellow line is under the blue line, that is considered bearish. So it is looking very good, and I am very excited, and I just can't wait to see what the Super Bowl does for SoFi in the short and long term. And ultimately, I'm in there like swimwear, baby. I don't care what happens. I don't care if there's a short squeeze. I will not sell my stocks. SoFi is my second largest holding in my portfolio, arguably the one I'm the most bullish about. So I'm trying to get that up to my largest position in my portfolio as we do currently speak. So let me know down below in the comment section who you guys are rooting for. Are you rooting for the Rams? Are you rooting for the Bengals? Let me know who you guys are rooting for. Thank you guys for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel on your way out. Check out the links in the description if you guys want to get yourself some free stock as well. Sign up with Moomoo, Weeble, and Public. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one.